starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Face in your face. Face in your face.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Latina Diaspora. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with this channel or watching this channel for the first time, what we do here, we discuss issues pertaining to Latinos residing in the United States. I also have my main YouTube channel, which is Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, where we discuss everyday issues and try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And also the subscriber mode has been enabled. Meaning, if you are not a subscriber and if you wish to enter a comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel. I also want to send a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, particularly Instagram and TikTok. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. So the topic for today is Latino and Unions. So I will be discussing how unions have had a positive effect in the lives of Latinos. But before we get into the main topic, we're going to have another episode of In My Words. Now, there's been a great deal of chatter regarding what transpired this week when President Zelensky went to the White House and had an audience with President Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. And to say that it did not go very well, I think that is the understatement of the year. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I do not know a great deal regarding the situation of the Ukraine, other than the fact that Russia had invaded Ukraine, and of which, unfortunately, there have been thousands of casualties on both sides. And also the fact of the matter is, we have shipped huge amounts of money to the Ukraine in the form of weapons and arms and things of that nature. And we have provided that nation with hundreds of billions of dollars in resources. Now, let me just state for the record. Of course, every country has a right to defend themselves against foreign aggression. That's obvious. However, the fact of the matter is, this country, like every other country, has its own issues to deal with, which are many. And then, of course, the situation regarding the migrant situation, a crisis that made it worse by the previous administration and how they dealt with it. Um, I can say that as much as I disagree with Donald Trump regarding many things, uh, he does appear to want to have some sort of a peaceful resolution between Russia and the Ukraine. But what I will need to do is I will need to study the situation further, so I can give a more educated opinion either way. But to say it did not go well, that's the understatement of the year. And then um, talk about how we are abandoning our allies. Again, this is something I'm going to have to study. Okay. I'm not going to say yes until simply because everyone's saying yes. That's something I'm going to have to discuss. And actually, this was a topic that was discussed last night on Latin Splaining with Denise Gonzalez. Okay. I would suggest that you check her live. Okay. I did not um, include the link in description mainly because I don't want to get hit by a copyright strike and things of that nature. And what I will do is I will ask her permission to share it. If I'm given permission, I will. What I will do is, um, on one of the streams, I will put the link in the description, and then you can uh, view the stream and then form your own opinion. What I will say is this: if you're going to create an opinion, make it an informed one. Do not base it on what someone else says, but actually do your due research regarding any topic. Because unfortunately, we have a situation where people are forming opinions, but are not, and I repeat, not getting themselves educated with the facts. They're just being led by what someone says, and that's never a good thing. If you're going to formulate an opinion, at least do your research. Okay. And of course, there's been a lot of discussion of noise regarding supposedly how much money the Department of Government efficiently has raised, saved for the taxpayer, which is doesn't appear to be true. It seems like all they're able to do is get a whole bunch of federal employees fired, only to have to get them rehired because they did not go through the proper channels or did not go through the process. Now you could have said, well, I'm a union person, so of course I'm going to say it. Well, look, the fact of the matter is, if you're going to terminate someone's employment, uh, you have to go through a legal process and you have to show cause, you have to show justification for that, because if you don't, you could be opening yourself to litigation. Okay. And not only that, but pay damages on top of that, on top of lost wages. But that's neither here nor there. Now, next week's schedule is going to be a little bit more fluid. I will be doing a stream tomorrow night on my main channel. Um, and of course, the topic will be uh, avoiding toxic people, how to deal with toxic people, how to define what person's being toxic, and how to deal with them. And then on Tuesday, I'll be discussing the season of Lent, because at this Wednesday is the beginning of Lent, which is known as Ash Wednesday, which is a time. Okay, this is how I define Lent. Lent is a time for self reflection, self renewal, Also, it's a time to get closer to God. It's also a time to take a look and see where we can do better in our relationship with God. Now, some people just they choose to look at Lent as something like a bad habit to give up, only to not only to resume it once Easter arrives. I mean, if that's how you wish to observe Lent, I am not going to criticize. I prefer to look at Lent as a time of self reflection, self renewal, and being completely candid of where I need to do better. Well, with that being said, we're going to go to the main topic. Now, before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to hit that link and opine regarding the topic in hand, they may do so. However, if I have never seen you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage before I let you on the panel. And the reason why is perfectly clear. The last thing I want to do is have some individual uh, hide behind an avatar and flash something that's inappropriate, which will cause the people of YouTube to take down this stream. Now I know people don't. Some people might get tired of me saying it again and again and again, but again, this is my platform, and this is my way to make sure that people behave themselves. Okay, and this is a way to make sure that no one does anything which will cause a violation of the community guidelines. Okay. Uh, so, with that being said, um, I would say that when it comes to unions, for the most part, it played a positive role in the lives of Latinos. Now, of course, there are different types of unions. There's professional unions, there are trade unions, okay? Because not everyone is has the discipline uh, to go to college for a bachelor's degree or associate's degree or a master's degree or any type of degree. There's some people that don't have the discipline to study. There's some people that may not be book smart, but they may be smart in other ways. Maybe they can develop a employable trade like plumbing or construction or perhaps doing repair work. These are trades that are just as important as those careers which require a bachelor's degree or any advanced education. Now, in my case, I have a college degree. Okay, I could have just as easily gone to learn a trade, and I could have been a plumber or a technician or whatever. I just did not see it myself performing that type of work. I'm not saying that it's not honorable. I mean, any type of work that you take pride on is honorable work. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen in a moment. Now, I'm not going to be here that long, maybe 30 to 45 minutes. And of course, I realize that most people are going to watch this on the playback, but that is okay. So let me just share my screen, hopefully. So this article that I'm going to share Uh, it's from the Joint Economic Committee. Okay. And it's well, I'm not going to say what's the affiliation, but it's just as important. And here's the headline: Celebrating Success: How Latinos Help Fight Economic Inequality Through Labor Movements. Hispanic and Latinos have always been a part of the American story, and their leadership is important. Labor movements has helped ensure that workers of all backgrounds can demand better wages and honor job protections. While Democrats continue to fight for these prior principles, and that's questionable. This Hispanic Heritage Month, we highlight some of the many Latino leaders and movements that have built worker power and helped shape our economy. The reason I kind of say because not all Democrats are actively involved in this process and helping Latino achieve their goals. So that's the reason why. So in the 1930s, Guatemalan American activist Luisa Moreno organized factory workers across multiple states and industries, one of the founders of the National Congress of Spanish-Speaking Peoples, a labor rights organization committed to the empowerment of Latino workers. In the 1960s, Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta founded the United Farm Workers and fought for higher wages and protection of farm workers against harmful working conditions. Huerta has been a leader in worker rights throughout her life and continues to engage in activism for social justice as founder and president of the Dolores Huerta Foundation. Chavez, who passed away in 1993, fought for farm workers up to his passing and left a legacy of leadership throughout the UFW and the National Farm Workers Service Center, now known as the Cesar Chavez Foundation. From the 1990s to the early 2000s, Linda Chavez Thompson served as the inaugural executive vice president of the American Federation of Labor Congress and Industry Organizations, AFL-CIO, after a long career in advancing worker rights. Chavez Thompson also the first person of color to hold one of these three highest offices in the AFL-CIO. Now, that's one of the largest unions in the country. Teresa Romero, current president of UFW, led workers in securing seminal state law that protects farmers' right to organize in California. As the former legislative director at the Retail Wholesale and Department Store Union, Camila Rivera Western led multiple initiatives focused on guaranteeing good wages and stable hours for workers like retail employees, airport catering workers, and car wash workers. Data shows that Latinas and Black women helped drive the momentum in union membership in 2023. Interesting. Unions create economic conditions that can strengthen the middle class by raising wages for middle-income workers, ensuring stable working hours, and improving other working conditions that led to better work health and performance on the job. Among other approaches, unions work to reduce economic inequality by advocating that a larger share of the company earnings go to workers instead of increasing CEO pay. Now, CEO is short for Chief Executive Officer. One report found that states with the highest rate of union membership have higher state minimum wages, and workers earn $6,000 more than the national average in annual median income. Analysis by the JEC Democrats found that typical unionized Latino workers full-time earn roughly $55,000 per year compared to the $43,644 earned by their non-union unionized counterparts. The earning gap grows to 15,000 if part-time workers are included. And here is a graph giving an illustration between um, full-time year-round workers and all workers, including part-time. So as you can see, this is the average median average earning salary of full-time year-round and all Latino workers ages 16 and older by union status in 2022. So it's basically 2 years old. So as you can see, full-time union workers, the average median salary is 55,000 a year compared to $43,644 for non-unionized average employees. So that's roughly almost a $10,500 a year difference. And then when it comes to all workers, including part-time, the average median salary is $50,000 for those who are unionized, compared to $35,000 for those who are not unionized, which is a $15,000 pay difference. More can be done to support worker rights, well-being, and ability to join a union. A report by USC found that immediately prior to the pandemic, 2.5 million Latino workers were unionized, but over 23 million Latino employees were not part of a union. Union membership has declined since the 1950s. It coincided with the increased inequality. As the economy has grown, many middle-class family incomes have not grown with it. Changes to federal and state laws have made it harder for workers to organize. Research has shown that these changes lower both unionization rates and overall wages. And of course, we do know that we in several states declare right to work states. Basically, what that means is that as an employee, you can be discharged at will, and and the employer does not need to provide any justification. Now, there are new laws and regulations can support unions in enhancing wages, training, and working conditions. Chairman Martin Henrich's Pre-Apprenticeship to Hard Hats Act will grant unions and other organizations additional funding for training workers. Senator Padilla and Representative Grijalva, I hope that I pronounced correctly, Fairness to Farm Workers Act will codify overtime pay to farm workers and build Latino organized efforts to ensure all Americans have access to well-paying jobs and strong worker protections. Key legislation like the Protecting the Right to Organize Act will enhance worker ability to organize without fear of punishment or risk losing their jobs. And we're gonna park it here. Okay. So let's just give you. So I wanted to give you some key leaders, which due to their efforts, have made it life substantially better for Latinos who belong to unions. Now, let me see if I can find. Let me just check and see. Okay, you have to excuse me. It's just that every now and then I will check to see if anyone's watching on Instagram. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share one more article. Just give me a moment. Okay. Now I'm just gonna share my screen. Now, for those of you who are just chiming in now, the topic is Latino and unions. So basically, I'm just talking about how, thanks to unions, Latinos have been affected in positive ways, mainly economic and as far as other protections that they have achieved. Now, this next article I'm going to share for you is from the National Council of La Raza. And this article talks about how important is unionization to Latinos. The labor movement has historically enabled workers to organize for positive change in the workplace by compelling employers to abide by the law and strive to improve jobs equality. Union membership and coverage by a collective bargaining agreement has improved the both low-skilled worker wages and benefits. But in 2009, barely 2 million Hispanic workers were represented by a union as opposed to more than 13 million white workers. Unfortunately, Latinos are least likely to belong to unions but have the most to gain in wages and benefits from union membership. Increasing opportunities for Hispanic workers to join unions is one of the key and critical actions critical to elevating job equality for Latinos. Hispanic workers have the lowest unionization rate of any demographic group. By 2009, only 1 in 10 Latino workers belonged to a union compared to 12.1% of white workers and 13.9% of black workers. And this graph illustrates it right here. Workers constitute a greater share of the contingent workforce than they do the overall workforce. The practice of hiring workers on a contingent basis rather than through a time-limited contract is a growing trend among employers wishing to avoid compensating and ensuring traditional wage and salary employees who can join unions. Between 1990 and 2005, Latino presence among contingent workers jumped from 12.7% to 21.4%. Let's see if I can increase this. Okay. Latino immigrants are less likely to belong to a union. Between 2004 and 2007, the overall Hispanic unionization rate averaged 11.1%, while unionization rates for foreign-born Latinos hovered around 8.5%. Excuse me. Latinos gain more from union membership compared to other workers. The union wage premium for Hispanic is the highest of any racial group or ethnic group. Hispanic men in unions earn 23.4% more than non-unionized counterparts, and Hispanic women earn 18.7% more. By comparison, union wage premium is 50% for white men, 9.1% for white women, 22.7% for black men, and 14.5% for black women. Unionized Hispanics are more likely to have health insurance and other employer-sponsored benefits than their non-unionized counterparts. Unionized low-wage Hispanic workers experience a 40.7% health coverage premium. The union premium for pension coverage is 53.9%. Union members also tend to have better access to disability and life insurance as well as paid leave. Union gives vulnerable workers a voice on the job. Without access to affordable and cultural, linguistic, appropriate legal resources, low wage and limited English proficient workers face barriers to defending themselves against labor law violations. Armed with technical expertise about regulations and protected from the threat of adverse reaction from employers, unions are equipped to take action on behalf of workers. They are important watchdog in ensuring that employers comply with laws governing minimum wage, overtime pay, and occupational health and safety. Excuse me. Oh boy, let me just. Ugh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I don't know how to get rid of this. Okay. Sorry about that. You, okay. So let me just read this. Ugh. Come on. Okay. Now there are some recommendations. Let's give you, which is very important. Improve access to unions for Latino workers. Better union outreach and recruitment of Latinos and immigrant workers will improve the Hispanic unionization rate. In addition to strengthening protections for workers who chose to unionize, such as the Employee Free Choice Act, House Resolution 1409, or the Senate Resolution 560, can help more Latino organize. Okay. Support community-based organization structures for non-unionized and non-traditional workers. Community-based organizations have proposed testing various strategies to unite contingent and vulnerable workers to defend themselves against exploitation work practices. Some organizations campaign target specific occupations, dressmaker or entire production or subcontracting chains, the government industry, and are geographically focused on low-income neighborhoods. Encourage collaboration between unions and alternative organization bodies. It's important to note that while new organization models sometimes arise in the absence of unions, a community-based approach does not necessarily exclude union involvement. In fact, the success of such campaigns often depend on funding and support from unions. Unions have an important stake in the outcome of community-based organizing, since workers involved in non-traditional campaigns often go to the union organizers themselves. And we're gonna park this here. So that just gives you, that just gives you some feedback regarding the important influence that union does have in affecting the lives of Latinos. When Latinos are able to organize and join unions, they obtain many benefits. They obtain job security, they opportunities for promotion, they gain access to medical coverage, pension benefits, disability, and things of that nature. So I will be discussing in future strings um, other benefits that does come with belonging to a union. In one of my streams, which I think I did, I think it was last week on my main channel, I focus on the benefits of belonging to a union, which are many. And sad to say that not everyone is fully aware with other benefits. And some people have a misconceptions regarding unions. Some people have hold the belief that basically uh, the job of the unions is just basically to prevent uh, incompetent people from being terminated. No, the function of the unions is to make sure that workers' rights are not violated, which includes um, work practices, which includes a safe work environment, which includes workers not being exploited in any way, which includes due process, which includes protection against allegations of incompetence or any type of criminal activity. So these are many of the rights and privileges that come along with belonging to a union. Now, at this point, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start to wrap this up. Um, Now, just as a reminder, I will be live uh, tomorrow night at 10 o'clock p.m., where I'm going to be discussing um, avoiding toxic people. Now, why am I approaching this topic? Because we all have to deal with toxic people. Okay. And when I talk about toxic people, I am not limited to the social platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Facebook. I'm talking about outside, okay? Because we have people, uh, it seems like their mission is to be negative, 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 and to bring about nothing but discord and anxiety. So I will be sharing with the audience my views regarding how to avoid toxic people. As always, play back in. Please do your thing. Enter your comments. Just try to keep it respectful. Uh, if you disagree with regarding the what the importance of unions, just state your reasons why. Just don't go into a personal attack. Your comments are going to be deleted. But in any case, with that being said, I will wrap this up, and of course, I will close the same way that I always close. We must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we would be infected by this stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of this has been another episode of Latino Diaspora. So I just want to say thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see each other real soon. Take care and peace.
Be strong.